Good evening, everyone. Today we have Dr. Jawahar Surishetti, who's an internationally acclaimed psychologist and futurist. He has been featured in the Forbes. He's a TED speaker, and a New Indian Express has told that he's one of the 24 people in India to watch out for. He's an author, he's a psychologist, he's a TED speaker. Forbes has listed him, and his association with the India government to assist them in formation of NEP-2020 and other education policies are very, very important for us. So we are very proud to have him with us today. We can ask some very, very important questions that we have in our mind about NEP-2020 and the implementation of that. And we hope to get a lot of information, input and knowledge from him. So let's start. A very good evening, Dr. Surishetti. We are very humbled that you have taken out your very precious time to talk to us on this program. And a very good evening to you. And we would love to hear about your opinion, about the policies and a lot of things here. And we hope the audiences gain a lot of knowledge from you by talking here with you today.
Evening, and yes, let's have the conversation. Let's see what comes out of it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So without wasting any time, I'll just dive into the first question that we have. We have actually done a little bit of a survey of the school leaders, and they also have some queries which we are going to ask here. And plus,
Okay.
of course, we will be definitely getting a lot of input from you, which is going to help everyone around in this education, the Preschool Olympiad that we are doing. That is for the foundational year of the first 3 to 8 years of age, which is nursery to grade 2. So how we can help the institutes, the school leaders, and also give knowledge to the parents is the main purpose of this program. So sir, our first question is, you've been advising at the highest levels of the government. What's your reading of how NEP 2020 is being implemented on the ground in early education, like the schools who are actually on the last mile of implementation? So how do you think?
I think, frankly speaking, there is a lot of confusion. All the sections 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 will need some time to sink in, especially for the preschool segment or the 3 to 8 years. There is a lot of change in the policy, and it's a drastic change which people are not able to digest. So the conditioning is such that they will need to understand what is happening there and then adapt it to the children. It will be for the benefit of the children. But the people who are running preschools, if they are in a confused state or may have not understood what is happening, I think there is an issue with the implementation.
Okay, sir. Thank you. The next one is, in your view, what should be a non-negotiable thing that a child should have in their skills finishing the foundational age at the class 2? It is non-negotiable. They must know that.
So there are three things that I think, because the way it has been designed is such that, let's say you have to teach science, then you need to know a little of mathematics or numeracy. Similarly, if you have to teach social studies, you need to know a little of language. So FLN is such that you will build the foundational skills of literacy and numeracy and then build on them for the other subjects. Now, by the time the child attains the age 2, I assume that basics, word making and basic calculations, basic calculations, yes.
Yeah.
Basic calculations are something which is non-negotiable. But having said that, I am saying that since the speed of each child is different, can we cater to the differential assessment of children, which is what I am looking at. And also I am looking at whether we will be able to make the child happy instead of putting a lot of burden. That's a non-negotiable thing that I think FLN will need to do.
Sir, we were talking with a school principal, and she said that if we are going to make this an inclusive program, that is for every child, all types of child who are slow learners, child who are having issues in learning fast, who are not able to keep up to the pace with the other children. So are we going to do something extra, or is there a different policy for them, or they will also have to be acquiring it by the age of 8?
My question to them is, what have you been doing all these years? There has been the same learning happening for differential children in the classrooms. So what have you been doing? The same thing you will keep doing. What we have tried to do is put in a two-teacher policy in the classroom, where one teacher will do the scaffolding, one teacher will do the regular teaching. So anything above 15 to 20 will have two teachers.
Okay. 15 to 20 strength in the class. Okay. Sir, some of the schools are using shadow teachers for these children who are not able to learn fast. So is that going to help in any way?
Yes. And that is what precisely I was telling. The shadow teacher is some, but shadow teacher should not be taken lightly. He or she is like the joker in the circus who can do everything. So shadow teacher has to be very carefully selected and not just a bygone. Otherwise, it will lose the purpose that it has been put for.
How do we assess these small kids whether their learning is happening or not? Because after they attain the age 8, it is too late to find out whether they have learned the basic FLN or not. Since schools don't do any assessment in that way, what is the process in which NEP wants the teachers to understand and document it and present it to the parents that this is the learning curve which has happened with your child?
So although nothing prescribed, there are a lot of assessment tools that have come in. But having said that, I think the teachers have to do a continuous evaluation in the classrooms, know the progress of the child in FLN, particularly for FLN, and create a rubric for them to assess every year. So if it is outcome-based learning, I should know at the end of the quarter year or half year or full year, what is the milestone that he or she has to reach, and then map it. It's not an easy job. It's not as easily said as done. But the teacher is supposed to put in an effort, because assessments are something that have gone and teachers' effort in that has reduced. So they will have to put in that effort somewhere else.
So what is the biggest myth about assessing preschoolers that you wish schools and parents should drop? Like there is a fear quotient as if assessment is punitive. So do you think the schools and parents should drop that idea? Because when we were small in school, we thought that assessment is a part of learning. But right now, till about, I think in some schools, till about 5, 6 also, there are no assessments at all.
So I think there is no such burning need for assessment. Although there is a dichotomy here. The government sometimes decide that 5th and 8th have to be assessed. And then sometimes they say no assessments. So again, from the government side also, there are two groups which are fighting each other. The groups which think that assessment is a necessary part, and the groups which think that assessment should be done away with, the progressive group. But to say that assessment is a non-starter or should not happen is wrong, whatever be the ways, because again, when we say that a child is visual, auditory, kinesthetic, so we should assess them in their strength. Assessing them in one paper for all is not a very good idea.
Right, sir. Okay. Now, how can we support the school and the schools be supported to shift from rote-based to an explanatory learning at the foundational level instead of teaching how to memorize it?
See, that's the easiest part. The children are conditioned to play at that age. We are trying to decondition them and put them into a rote, which is they are not used to. So if they are able to carry their natural flow and play while learning, there is nothing. So there are manipulatives which can be put into the classroom. The child learns himself. Like Sugata Mitra's the hole in the wall experiment. He showed that the Juggi people, when he put a computer long ago on a wall, and they slowly started learning themselves. So a child has an inherent strength to learn himself. We think we are important and he is learning because of it. It's not that. So when he plays and learns, so they tried fiddling with the computer and to pushing buttons, they came to know how to put it on, and then they started seeing the screen, and then they started typing and all that. So it's a natural progression. We should let them be.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. How do you see a public-private collaboration playing a role in raising foundational education quality? There are a lot of government schools who are also teaching, there are private schools who are also teaching. Can there be a collaboration?
Yes, there can be. Although it might sound too idealistic, but since schools are not taxable, so they should be taking some responsibility of FLN.
Sponsoring, village school or rural
yes,
school.
Yes, we should do that. Apart from that, the government schools do not have a small dichotomy here, that Anganwadis are under the women and child care. It doesn't fall under the school education. And 1 to 12 are under the school education. So the carrying forward of FLN from Anganwadis to the school is a slightly difficult. So they are laggards. Anganwadis, you know how they function. They are actually creches. Government Anganwadis are actually creches. So there is a bhai who takes care of these kids. It is here that we will be failing in case we are not able to up the ante for the government schools, and that is where the private-public partnership will come in, and they can do a lot.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you so much. We actually need to see the rural children and the urban children getting the same kind of exposure and expertise, and teachers also should be as good to be able to sail them through. That is what I think is everybody's goal. Okay, now what changes do you believe are most urgent in teacher training for ECC and similar things like that under NEP? There should be any change.
ECC needs urgently teacher training. I am saying this from a perspective of the 70% schools which are in the government sector, because it's an unorganized balwadi. Firstly, the integration to the school education department is imperative from the women and child development. Until it comes under education, FLN will not happen. So ECC has to come, and they have started doing that. Second is that you will have to see that the teachers who are there are actually teachers and not caregivers. Once they are teachers, then we can train them, do whatever you want. And the hub and spoke model you said is what comes in. So locally we can train these people with the use of the private. Also, ECC needs a lot of infrastructure which government schools don't have. So you can make use of the private infrastructure there without disturbing their own system. So I think that is something we'll need to do.
Thank you, sir. Now, you've seen education systems in other countries also. What are the best practices in early years of learning that India should adopt from the other countries?
So one thing I will differ is that you talk about Finland, you talk about anything. The Indian education system is very robust, very robust. You cannot match it across the world because the size of the country is the highest in the world. And still we are able to get into a literacy of 93% is a huge task. I am not talking about the parameters of literacy, etc., etc. But doing that itself is the Indian child and parents are primarily interested in education. So they want their child to get educated. So that interest drives them and puts an extra effort for the children by putting in money which is not affordable for them in a simple way. But whether we are able to give the quality that they want in whatever. So there is maybe a private school in a rural area which charges 300 rupees. The teachers are paid 2,500 rupees. So you will understand the difference between both. So we'll have to set right this and see that ECC for once will have to be the foundation for anything. So anything you build on ECC is going to show its effect upstairs.
So, okay. Now, if you could design a flagship program for foundational education in India, what would it look like?
So, one, I would say that in the first year of education, we don't allow the children to write. So I would look at it that the nervous system is still not ready to write. But yes, some exercises which will prepare them for next year to write is important. So they can keep planting things, holding things and all that. But first year, I think they should not get into the writing part. They should start recognizing letters, designing letters and all that. But I think they should not write. This is how I would design. And once they start recognizing, if you put an apple in front of them and ask them to draw, they have the inherent ability to draw however bad it might be. To their perception, they draw well. So if you put them into a motivation mode wherein they recognize first and then draw. So that is the natural progression for a kid. So second year onwards, I would look at putting single letters and all this. The third year again should be small letters. All these things actually don't matter. It is very foolish that saying small letters, big letters. Now, I think this is not going to work. क्या मिलेगा आपको small letter लिख के बड़ा letter लिख के उससे what is the child going to gain? He has to communicate to the parent, to the examiner. So unnecessarily putting a pressure on the child that ये ऐसा ही होता है and the teacher puts pressure कि इसका कर्व ऐसा होना चाहिए because she has been taught like that. So unnecessary pressures, I think we should get rid of and let them play. Let them play and learn.
Okay, sir. The writing speed, increasing the writing speed when they grow up. Do you think it is going to be crucial for the future world that most of the students are typing things now? Do you see the examinations are also getting into, I think 40% government is saying should be MCQs. So that writing skill of, page per page हम जो लिखते जाते थे history में, तो वो क्या आगे जाके आपको लगता है कम होने वाला है?
वो कम हो जाएगा. I think that कि क्या है the generation that we are in, the teachers and parents, we have written loads and loads of pages and it is supposed to be synonymous with the marks that we get. Usually this is what we think, but I think if you go to let's say JEE, let's say NEET, let's say IAS ka exam, the quantity is not important, which is a fact. If you are 100 words is good enough and covers all the points, you will get full marks. But people miscalculate and say that I need to write so many to get through IAS. It is not the case. So somehow, somewhere we have been conditioned to think that there is a myth in the market that if you keep writing with hand and keep writing more, then you are good. Your handwriting is good. You are intelligent. You listen to what the teacher is saying, you are intelligent, you are disciplined. So all these myths will go. I think some boards already have started taking e-assessments and they are doing pretty well.
Yes, sir. So where do you see the role of technology in early years? The supportive tool or it's a potential distraction that children are getting distracted because there are a lot of schools who have apps and they teach also from the apps. So what do you think it should be? Should it be apps or should not be?
No, I think there is a careful mix of digital as well as physical. And if you say 1 hour in a 4-hour school for preschool is a good time for a digital intervention. But if you say that 3 hours technology and 1 hour, it is not a good idea. It affects the eyes. But yes, why they do it is two. One, the parent seems satisfied that there is technology being used and it has snob value. Second is you have a cover up of the quality of teacher because the technology is taking care of that. So I think to cover up lack of good teachers, they use a lot of technology and it's a lot of शो ऑफ, जो कि बहुत ज्यादा काम नहीं आएगा. यस, it has to be there because children will live in a world with technology, so they should be initiated into it.
Sir, what's your view about homework? Homework for nursery, KG students should be given, or you think it is too much?
I think every school should have a homework policy. Let's say in preschools, the child has already written enough in the school. But then for him to learn within 7 hours, he has to repeat what he has learned. So to that extent, one subject, one page per day is a good homework, because the mothers will also, or parents will also be knowing what is happening. If you leave that, they won't know.
Yeah, the parental involvement should start at the beginning. They should also get into a practice of being a part of what is being taught in the school.
Yes.
Right. And it also puts a habit to the child of studying maybe 30 minutes every evening, which can increase in the higher grades. Yes, sir. Sir, if you could give one message to the school leaders and the innovators working on early childhood, what would it be? Can be two different messages for them, innovators and the school leaders.
Okay, so school leaders ka first message hai, you will need to de-learn and relearn. The same old stuff that you have been using for the past 30 years is not going to work anymore. This child is a thinking child. So he will simply switch off if he does not resist what you are teaching. He will switch off. Schools will become extinct. In case you don't, these children are very, they are actually very expressive. So they will say, no, I don't want to go. And this is what happens. The second is, for the innovators, they should find ways to engage with the child mind. Now, learning is as I used to say, teaching plus emotion is learning. So that's a plain formula. So your favorite teacher anytime in your school days would be one who was emotionally connected to you. And that's the reason why you remember her till now. Similarly, these innovators should look at putting emotion to learning and making it fun for the children, which the school leaders are not able to do. So the role of innovators is very, very important, and they should pitch in where it is necessary, and the school leaders will have to accept this.
Sir, there are mixed kind of parents. Some parents feel that if there is an assessment done, even if it is a very small, easy kind of thing which is done by the school, some parents feel that it is putting pressure on the child. And some parents feel that yes, it should be done. In fact, they are overexcited. They want to buy extra books to teach them. So where is the balance? What exactly should it be?
I think CBSE has made it very clear. Only thing is the teaching fraternity misunderstood it. So the CBSE made it clear that assessment should be done in such a way that the child does not know that he is being assessed. So once you do that, then the stress is not there. So those parents,
like an activity or something in the
yes, something like that. They can design quiz, something. So you will have to find ways and means where children are assessed, but they don't know that they are being assessed. Those parents who have the achievement motivation of getting highest marks in the class, sooner or later they will realize that unnecessarily they are putting pressure and blaming the school for it, which is not the right thing to do. So the school will have to pitch in and say, please don't put pressure. Let us do our way. You can leave. But the problem is the market dynamics are so high that people want children. That is their market. And parents, they promise the moon. The teachers or school leaders promise the moon to the parents. And they get caught. So I think they will have to talk realistically for the benefit of the child and not put unnecessary pressure on the child. Yes, assessment is necessary, but in a way which is comfortable to them.
Sir, last question. How is the NEP going to standardize this assessment? So say a village in a Punjab or a village in Tamil Nadu or in Manipur or the cities as well. Where is the standardization that all these children are learning the same thing? Or at the, whatever they're supposed to understand, they all are learning the same thing in all places, because preschools are pretty unstructured. Some of them, like ABCD, we were talking. We learned ABCD capital A first, because some schools have started teaching the phonetic way. Some schools have started teaching the small letters first. So of course, it has become such that even parents also like to hear new things. So when they hear that, okay, it is only going to be taught phonetically and the alphabets will not be taught right now, so they think it is something unique, it is new. So not being judgmental about any of the processes, all of them are right, all of them will arrive at the same place at the end. But then by the time it is class 2, what is the deadline that children all over India should know this much? So how do we plan to standardize this?
I think it's not going to happen. The reason being, education is in concurrent list, and the state has an equal role to play. In fact, more role to play than the center. And each state government has a different agenda. Most of them do not have focus on the school education. So you will see things like Tamil Nadu doing very well, but you will see Chhattisgarh or MP not doing well. So the leadership of the state as well as the focus on the education is what is going to decide. But even then, if somebody, let's say somebody like Kejriwal or somebody who puts in an extra effort and gets good education to the state, it is going to be different for that state and it cannot be uniform. So the leadership is going to decide how we are going to pan out. There can't be uniformity unless you have a one nation, one exam.
Uniformity keeping aside, I'm just asking a little bit more. Uniformity keeping aside, can we not do one round of FLN ending test kind of a thing by the age of 8, at least to know that which state stands where?
Yes. So like 5th and 8th we have done. We plan to do FLN also in the near future. So that's also on the cards. But 5th and 8th are already done. States are doing it. So we should do it. FLN should happen. The outcome-based thing, whether it's working or not, before it's too late, we should know.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for coming to this program. And I'm sure this podcast is going to be very helpful for all the stakeholders who are going to watch it. And we would love to have you again on the show next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.